I want to introduce you to the sole Christian survivor of a Boko Haram terror attack in Nigeria. Please watch his testimony of the attacks on Christians in northern Nigeria. My name is William Murray, president of the Religious Freedom Coalition, and the victim of the attack, Ike, was my guest in Washington, D.C. during the State Department's Ministerial on Religious Freedom the week of July 15, 2019. Ike's story is an amazing testimony of faith.
Hello everyone, my name is Ike. You can anywhere, but you can call me Ike. I'm a survivor of one of the Boko Haram attacks in northeast Nigeria. Back in 2012 or 2011, there was a warning sent out by Boko Haram that Christians living in the north should vacate the north or they will be killed. And I couldn't leave, not out of choice, but because I had a job located in northern Nigeria that I had to keep and all of that. So I stayed back. We got assurances from the emir of I used to live in a town called Mobi in Adamawa State then. So we got assurances from the emir of Mobi, who assured us that we are safe. We shouldn't bother, that nothing is going to happen to us, that we should just disregard that warning. It's just an empty threat. But shortly after then, on the 5th of January 2012, there was an attack. And my boss back then, I used to work in the bank, and my boss back, he was just sitting out with his friends at a bar, a local bar then. But he went to buy, we call it a recharge card in Nigeria, a phone card. So while he left the setting, there was an attack by Boko Haram and he narrowly survived. Those that were there, when I heard them sharing their story on the 6th, which is the next day, one said that while the attack was going on, we had to talk. We just bent down and hit each other. That was how we survived the attack. But the first attack on the 5th of January 2012, my landlord, who I lived with, then died, and a friend of his as well. But my boss, who was in their company, survived because he went to buy the phone card. So the next day we went for his funeral. There was a funeral gathering, mainly Christians. And the previous attack on the 5th happened around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Nigerian time is kind of dark. You can barely see people from a distance. But the previous day, when we went for the funeral, it happened around 11 a.m. I went to the company of our driver and my boss, who survived. Remember, he survived the previous attack. He barely survived. Shortly after we arrived at the venue, there was a lot of emotions and all of that going on. Just around this time on that day, unknown to us, we are being surrounded by Boko Haram. So I was making a phone call, and so I just stepped out from that immediate center of attention, kind of about, let's say, a few yards away from that center. In just a matter of about a few minutes, we had gunshots. The only thing I could remember was some men with their turban were all wrapped. You couldn't see their face, just their eyes and their AK-47. They were just shooting sporadically, and at that point, I knew I was not going to make it. I knew I was going to die because there was no place to run, no place to hide. It was just an open playing field. I thought to myself, I had to pray, like my last prayer. Everything was just happening so fast. The only thing I could remember saying was the blood of Jesus covered. Like, there was no time to make amends of anything whatsoever. I knew I was going to die. This is it for me. And it so happened that I died actually. But when I got to the hospital, I now played back what happened, because there in the hospital I heard stories that my bus died, our driver died, and about 12 other people. That is them, and everybody was shot in the head. But eventually I came back. I came back to life miraculously. I don't know how that happened. But my death then, temporal death then, was the result of gunshot I sustained from the attack. Because they were shooting us in the head. I don't know what happened when I passed out. I don't know what happened, but it was a miracle that is beyond me. I believe it's God's design that I was not going to die in that event. So I lost about 95% of my lower lip, lost about 80% of my teeth, 25% of my tongue. For about 3 months I wasn't talking. Getting me from Mubi to Yola, which is about 3 hours drive that day, when I got to Yola, there was another attack by Boko Haram the same night in a church in Yola town. I can't recall the name of the church, but there was an attack that day. So the next morning I was flown to Lagos. I stayed in Lagos for a few days and was enlisted to the United Kingdom, where I had most of my surgery. A lot of metals and reconstruction, a lot of stuff going on. So I'm here to tell you that there's a serious atrocity going on in Nigeria, not just Northeast, but it's like there's something going on in Nigeria that has to be stopped. And it's like a religious cleansing of Christians. Because that meeting was a Christian meeting, and they knew it was a Christian meeting. It became an attack. I remember it was an attack the previous day, and the same day I was attacked, and also another attack the next day when I was moved to hospital. So there's a lot going on. It's been a long journey coming from that attack up to this one. It's an honor because, like I said, I thought I was going to die. I never knew I was going to live after that. Being in your midst is an honor. It's a privilege. Come this far. It's been a long journey for me. I've gone through a lot of surgeries. At the point I had to stop counting so I can maintain my sanity. There's a lot of painful surgeries after this work. And I'm one of the fortunate ones who could get this far. Not everybody who survived an attack of this magnitude is able to come this far, which I'm thankful for. So every day, when I had my interview with CNN, one of the first things I did, which helped me to heal, was forgiving whoever attacked me. I don't know their whereabouts, whether they've been arrested, which I don't think they have. But forgiving them, which is what I've learned as a Christian, to forgive them, and I've moved on from that. And so far I've been hanging in there. And I hope my story inspires every one of you to keep doing whatever good we can to help our society, make it a better place than we met it. So that's all I have to share.
Many survivors of violent religious persecution attended the conference called by the State Department, which was attended by government officials and representatives of churches and nonprofits such as the Religious Freedom Coalition from all over the world. Our organization works with Christian victims of Islamic terror in Middle Eastern nations such as Iraq and Syria, as well as in Nigeria. You can learn more about our organization's work in Nigeria at ChristianVictimsFirst.org. That's ChristianVictimsFirst.org.